There we go. I do believe we are live, so I'll say indeed. And greetings unto you, beloved and holy friends. Thank you so much for joining me again. It is saucing out there again. It's literally raining like this much into the spot I would usually have sit underneath the roof, so we are starting right from the inside today. It's nice having you friends here with me. I'm trying to like finagle my angles. Let me see if I can get it better. Like so. Show us the other bin behind you. I did kind of put it there. That's my sister's. That's my sister's. She got herself some balloons. Maybe she wants to feel that air of lightness, right? Yeah, that's the scene right there. Being flanked by two beautiful things. Didn't want this to rain on your head today. Nay. I was not feeling it. Like they're striking close to us again today. Let me see if I can get like maybe a few lightning strikes for you friends while I vape up outside or something, you know? Let's see if we can do that. You see. This is what I mean with like the whole, like it's wet underneath the roof. Like here's the door and stuff. Like I already put the cushions and stuff out of the way, but yeah, it's rough out here. There we go. If there's any lightning strikes, that will be the area that they'll strike in. Let's see if we get one. With our luck, it's gonna stop raining when I tried to show you the thunder. Like we've been having ones that go like it's pretty nice. Holy shit, you saw one or you just heard it? Oh, but first, your bare feet have good contact with the ground, right? Yeah. Totally, I have my bare feet on the ground, totally. I'm totally not in slippers right now. There we go. Man, I would like a thunder strike, please. There we go. That one was to the left, though. That one was to the left. It's moving fast. Whew, man, when it rains like this, it feels like my mind is also cloudy. I don't know why. No lightning for us, huh? Nice, okay. Oh. That's my view right now. Alrighty. Alrighty then. Guess there is no need to further ado. Technically, this is a bad angle. I'm not supposed to have myself in the middle of the frame, but for the sake of the art, I shall ignore some of the rules. Love is true. That's nice. I commented kind words on a new YouTuber's channel, and he replied to me, "Yeah, bless, 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 bless." It still bothers me too much for me to ignore it. I'll have to at least bring it down a little bit. Popo! Heard when I joined. Bless you, Zano. Like a lightning strike. Melt, are you sure you don't live in a rainforest? I mean, I'm kind of in a place of hope, and it's weird that you say that, Mojo, because I've been thinking about that. I've been in this place of hope that this place ends up becoming a rainforest over the next 20 years. Fingers crossed. Oh, okay. I think that's all for now. Love is true. It's nice having you friends here with me. I guess I can introduce today's stream topic. For some reason, when the weather is like this, it's like other things take priority in my mind. I think those clouds have passed. Oh, that's where it went. You're like, what are you doing, Milt? I suddenly felt this piece of stickiness on my hand. And it had this little rubber pad that was also stickified. And I just discovered where the little sticky came from. I guess it's not that big a deal to not have it there. All right. Bear with me. I am trying to get my little ducks in a row. Talking about ducks in a row, where's Duck Dad? Have we seen him before? There's Joe Schmo though. Bless you, bro. I was gonna say Joe Schmo directly after. You are, dude. There we go. That is structured enough. Shimmied against my leg. All right. Today's stream topic. I trip out about how things work when it comes to information exchange sometimes. Let me give you the fractal that led to today's stream topic. It started with me watching it's like I'm not exactly sure whose video it was, unfortunately. Went into the comments, saw someone saying something about I Ching and about how that video was like a reaffirmation to them. Oh, it was Universe Statue something by Buzz. I think her name is Buzz. You know, she's an artist. And then I read, the comments to see what people are saying. And then one of the people were talking about how they did I Ching, right? And like this piece of music was then kind of like a resonance to them. And I was like, what's this person talking about? So I clicked on their profile, went into their channel and saw they had a playlist. And only one of the videos on their playlist was I Ching related. And I decided to watch that I Ching video. And it's a lady that goes into trying to inquire about joy for a person. I think that's what it was supposed to be interpreted as, because it goes, how do I help C find joy, or something like that, right? C as in a placeholder for a name. Help C find joy. And then she rolls her coins or throws her coins, writes down her numbers, and then kind of like analyzes the I Ching meaning. And the thing that she talked about today, or at least the core meaning of that pull, was nourishment. And something that she said that really resonated with me, to the point that I wanted to talk about it today in stream, is how we are taught our whole lives how to share, how to nourish other people, right? Like it's very natural for us to do that as a person, right? It's not odd. It might be difficult when it comes to being selfish, right? But again,
then society or our world paints you as the bad guy in that fractal because you're the one that is falling short when it comes to you not wanting to give your things away kind of vibe, right? However, on the other side, even though as a society we over and over and over teach one another how to give things away, we rarely teach people how to nourish themselves, right? And it was about nourishment. Like, and nourishment can come in many different ways. Just hearing that word, I had to kind of analyze and ask myself, what nourishes me? And just in asking that question to you as well, right? Maybe some things come up. Maybe you do things that you used to do, that used to be nourishing, but now has become habit. Maybe you aren't doing certain things that you used to do, even though they did nourish you, because they couldn't be formed as habits. Maybe you enjoyed writing poetry and you stopped, right? Even though poetry nourished your being to do it, right? In that fractal, in that capacity is what I'm talking about today. How when someone tells us, "Hey, I want some coffee," right, and you have all of the stuff to make coffee with, you can jump into action and nourish that person of the coffee that it is they desire. However, the things that we desire on a soul level, like creating our art, for example, is something that we can keep postponing because we were never taught how to nourish ourselves like that. And I don't know if I can teach how to nourish thyself, right? But just kind of like becoming aware of that as a thing, as something that we face as human beings, as something that we have to get better at. Thank you, dear friends, for coming to my TED Talk. Sending you all some lovin's. Let me see. So many comments. Makes me happy. Thank you, friends. Every single one of them. Love. I nourish myself with oats every morning. I need to eat something with vitamins. Turns out eating a breakfast is nice. Nice. Good for you. I had some broccoli today. All right. So I feel good about myself of eating something with vitamins. Makes me think about my brother right now. We used to make fun of him for not enjoying fruit. And we would tell him, you know, why don't you eat apples? And he'll look you dead in the eye and he goes, I have eaten an apple once. But not like trying to be comical, just like stating a matter of a fact. He has eaten an apple once. Like, of course, it's changed in the meanwhile, right? Like, he's eating apples by the plenty these days, but when he was young, it's still a classic. Do you put stuff in your oats, Zano? Maybe you can put some vitamins in your oats. Get the best of both worlds. I'm learning how to use the stove by practicing more of the oats. At first, it was scary. I'm getting a lot better at it now. Bless you, Zano, on your cooking journey, dear friend. Yeah, you don't have to do a lot, right? How I learned how to cook, how I started cooking, was just with eggs, right? And eggs is even easier. Eggs is relatively inexpensive, right? When it comes to your ingredients. If you have a single egg and you have a pan and you have heat, you can, with that single egg and that pan and that heat, technically make a bunch of different iterations of the same egg. Hmm? And just practicing, right? Buy yourself 6 eggs and a small little pan if you've never cooked for yourself. And this is me kind of like speaking into the world, not trying to call any of you friends out. All right, just cook yourself an egg 6 different ways. Maybe do one of them where you boil the water in the pan if it's high brim enough, right? And just that can already kind of like put you in that state of mind of realizing it's not that scary, one, and it's actually kind of fun, right? You get to have so much control over the stuff you put into your body. Bless you again, Zano. I hope it gets only more fun going forward. I've been in a funky mood the past few days, and I apologize if I've been rude or short tempered or just outright staticky. I cherish you, friends, so I'm sorry if I've been shitty lately. Brother Joe, your concerns are unwarranted. Your apology is appreciated, but not not longed for, right? I wasn't like, bro, if only fucking Joe Show would apologize today, then my life would have been better. That was never my state of being. So from that perspective, I appreciate your apology, even though it never felt like it was necessary, bro. We all have those days, right? Those weeks sometimes, those months, even where we don't feel like our top self. However, I believe when you don't feel like your top self, it's because you are in the process of changing into something else, right? And that something else can go both ways. But knowing you, Joe Schmo, knowing the person you are, knowing how you want to show up for the world, you're changing into a better person actively, bro. Not that there's anything wrong with the person you are right now, just the process of conscious evolution, right? It's like knowing how to do something better. Let me think if I have a fractal like that. We can connect it to the food thing, weirdly enough, right? Maybe your whole life you used to cook something a certain way. And then somebody comes into your home and cooks you a meal and cooks that same thing that you've been cooking one way, completely differently. And then upon witnessing that experience, it feels like maybe you feel weird cooking your eggs the way you do, or maybe you feel a sense of righteousness or pride in cooking the eggs the way you do, or maybe you change and you start cooking your eggs in a new way because of how this person showed you how you could cook eggs, right? And in doing so, actively, slowly but surely, we grow as people. All of us are growing as people, Joshmo. Like again, there was no moment where I was thinking, Joe Schmo is short-tempered or staticky or rude or shitty. None of those words ever came to my mind. You were so loved, dude. Don't trip out too much. Good morning, homies and homettes and everything in between. Good morning to you. My favorite one is dudes and dudettes and those who don't dudes and dudettes. That's my way of touching all of the people. Frozen berries and baby pinch of salt. That does sound nice. With the oats, I'm guessing. The flesh couch nourishes me. Were you scared to burn food or yourself, Zano? I've burned myself a few times. It's not fun. Nay. I weirdly enough, I actually have a blister. Technically, I had blisters here as well. They've gone away. You can still see like a little bit of the discoloration right there, where while I was making fire, one of the sticks fell out, right? And it fell in a way that like turned onto me, hiding the coals underneath. So when I picked it up to put it back into the fire, it looked like it was completely untouched on the one side, right? And it was very visibly burned on the other side. So in my mind, I registered as, oh, this part was probably far out and never touched the heat. I very quickly let go of the stick, but the damage had been done. And this one is a blister from working a pitchfork. Man, part of me feels like I'm supposed to get harder, right? Like I'm supposed to work more pitchfork and then I won't sustain damage. The other part of me is like, I shouldn't be touching the pitchfork with my hands. The pitchfork should be held by a piece of technology that I then control. You were making fire. Are you God? Technically, we all are, right? But again, but again, not any more than anything else. God as much as the raindrops falling from the sky right now. God as much as the air. God as much as the void within which the air is suspended. Right? Have you friends really spent some time thinking about that? The fact that when you inhale, you're literally inhaling particles. They're very small, but they are particles, right? And then if none of those particles existed, there would just be a vacuum. You would not be able to inhale anything. But because there is this particulate matter, right? And there's so much of this particulate matter that it forms like a blanket around our planet. And then we like basically relax our diaphragm. And then our lungs sink into the cavity that is our body, letting the air flow in like water, and then you push it back out again. I don't know why I'm going here right now, but the point I'm trying to make is if you understand the double slit experiment, right, the fact that light molecules, when observed, almost become aware of the fact that they're being observed. And when you are aware of the fact that you're being observed, you have to behave in certain ways, right? Like binary, like yes or no, like exist or not exist. So these light molecules again, right? And the light molecule, if it's a molecule, if it's not a wave and the molecule at the same time, is technically the smallest unit of measurement, and yet it carries so much energy in our universe. How much more energy does, oxygen or the nitrogen we're inhaling carry right now as well? How much information does it carry, I wonder, if any? Does it carry any consciousness? My mind is feeling extremely scattered right now. Like it's so many open tabs at the same time. And instead of like clicking on the tab and letting it load, I'm like, I have a function mapped to my tabs where if I hit my scroll wheel, it just like it clicks between the tabs. And there's something in my brain just wheeling the scroll wheel back and forth. Can you stop, please? I'm hearing some sort of sound that is causing me concern as well. Can you hear that? I don't know if I can see it on the noise floor. It's a high pitched sound. Okay. Let me get back to it. No. No. Yeah, exactly. Swampy, you good, my dude. No sorry needed, exactly. That's legit, Zano. I heard you're conquering your fear with oats. Bless. Love is true. Zano had this weird intimidation thing going on with some blackstrap molasses I accidentally brought. I used it after sitting on it for a year to make ginger snaps, and they're my favorite thing. Can confirm. Do the scary kitchen things. Yeah, love is true. Thank you, Sam, for echoing that as well. Weirdly enough, if you had nothing to do with your blackstrap molasses, you could put them in your plants or in your pots. Your plants' microbes will eat your blackstrap molasses as well. I started cooking, not all of it, not pure. You should mix it with water first. I started cooking the crappy microwave oats on the stove with milk, and it elevated it so much. Yeah, just a little bit of, just that extra little bit of effort can make a massive difference. Eggs is good. Eggs is a nice balanced meal. 50-50 protein to fat ratios. It really is great. Like my favorite oatmeal hack is to use the key is to use why did I miss that thing? What the hell? Scramble that. There we go. Sam says, Doc, my favorite oatmeal hack is to use my tea kettle and steep it like tea in a mug with a plate over the top. Okay, yeah. So you make hot water in the kettle, you have a cup, you put the oats in it, you put the water, you mix, you put something on top to let it steep like that. Like when I started reading your comment, Sam, my mind, when I read kettle first, I thought you made the oats directly in the kettle for a split second, and it like completely threw me for a loop. Eggs been hurting my tummy lately. I wonder why. Like, and I wonder what hurting means as well. It's like an actual physical pain, or is it just, discomfort when it comes to the process? 6 ways for meat scramble. Scrambled, stirred, left, scrambled, stirred right, scrambled up, scrambled down, scrambled in, scrambled out. That's actually kind of hilarious, Duck That. So Duck That of you, but very funny. So interesting. You add a milk in a you out you you out milk, you oat milk in a kettle. That sounds like a cleaning nightmare for me. You see, Duck Dad also thought what I thought, but I read your message again very painstakingly to realize, nay, that's not what you're saying you're doing. I'm happy that I'm not the only one, Duck Dad. Use the water. Oh no, I used to get enough water to make the oats wet and engorged. Then I add butter or milk after 2 minutes. Great recipe, swampy. You know, it is in part me and Zano's fault that we're now food talking. So I'm gonna just read comments on the inside, right? Almost like visiting little seeds in the ground, but not giving them any sunlight, lest they continue growing. Mm, Leather basketball nets. I'm going to take the fire from Hades to burn me dead. Did you guys see that look on his face? On mine? I don't even know what happened. Love is true. So you eat awesome food. It did stop. It did stop raining, technically, yeah. Let me go sit outside. It will be a little bit more airflowy, which will be nice. Why are we all talking about food so much? I told you, Joy Vive, right? I do kind of like live in extremes sometimes, where it's like a one or the other kind of thing. And I have too many times noticed that as soon as the food topic comes up, it completely falls apart. Every time, without fail. Without fail, right? I've seen it happen so many times that it is basically a hard rule. It's pretty hard, but we were honoring Zano's willingness to nourish herself, and technically, nourishment is going to have food as a part of it. So, if the stream topic by design is kind of foodie, then I can't point fingers, right? So I'm here for it. Love is true. I just can't add anything, right? That's the thing. Like, what do I add? What do I kind of I can be like, sounds nice, and then sounds good, sounds delicious, sounds delectable, sounds abs. You can also backstrap molasses to make fertilizer. Me and Duck Dad also in the same mind. Out of high spring volume, high growth grade weeds, it helps as a fermentation aid. This is true. This is true. Resound happening. Damn it. No, that's a okay. So you did hear the weird resound. I was hearing it as well, bro. It caused my mind to be like, "Hey, Jovan, it's nice seeing you." Jovan, make smile. Yes, she does. I automatically smile when I see your name. It truly is a blessing having someone who has showed up with that much energy that you can't help but. I have something to share about nourishment. Please do. Please do, Zano. This is the place to. Why did we like to talk about food so much? Because it is a part of us, right? Needing to be nourished. For the most part, it's an addiction, right? I do believe. Hey, Google, define addiction. The fact or condition of being addicted to a particular thing, right? You are. It's a fact or a condition of being human that we are addicted to a particular thing, which is food. You know, you die lest you stop. You die lest you continue. That's the way you say that word, right? That's the way you use lest. So like, all of us have to be addicted to it. You can go a few days, a few weeks, a month if you have a lot of reserves, a year if you're like 200 pounds overweight. But you're gonna have to eat eventually, right? So it's like it is a kind of inevitability when it comes to the ego process. It's like a way to articulate Joy Vive is that no matter how much importance I put into my art, how much importance I put into conscious evolution, how much importance I put into the conversations I choose to have, after the conversation is done, people, depending on how long they were waiting, having the conversation for, are going to be hungry and they're gonna go and eat something, right? Maybe you were sitting here with me and I was lecturing and lecturing for 6 straight hours, right? And it started early morning, and the last meal you had was last night, so you might be ravenously hungry. And as you're walking out of, the center where we had our conversation or whatever, you and your friend, or you and your spouse, or you and your whatever are having a conversation about what you're gonna go and eat. Oh, what are we gonna go and eat? You're not having a conversation about, yes, we so consciously evolved. Yes, all of these lessons with so much importance. Nay, 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 nay. It's gonna be like, oh, what are we gonna go eat now? Right? So in that way, it's like an inevitability, cannot be escaped kind of vibe. So I know that, right? I know that. So I'm like, bruh, you're gonna eat. You're gonna. I promise, there'll be food, always, for the rest of your life. There will be food. So can we just have like a moment where we don't food, where we think about other things, and then I want to attach that feeling, right? Because I'm not saying that as like meh, 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 meh. I'm saying that as like my state of being. That state of being causes me to have trouble with nourishing myself. Not necessarily with food alone, but with things like that, right? The stuff that we ought to be giving ourselves to take care of our bodies, of our minds, of our hearts. So yeah, there's a whole fractal there. I, if I can, will choose to evolve past food. If I can, right? If I can genetically modify myself enough to the point where I no longer need to eat food, maybe I'll have myself, or at least my physical form, replaced by robotics or nanomachines, right? And I do not have to consume meat or carbohydrates or fats anymore. I will opt in for that. I'll be like, yeah, sign me up, thank you. Because it does feel like it plays such a big role in the human experience, to the point that it's a distraction. Right. And again, this is my perspective on this nourishment thing. To a person whose whole thing is cooking delicious meals for people, right? And seeing the glee and joy on their faces. And I can be like that as well. Don't get me wrong, right? That is the most important thing to them, right? Everything else could go away, right? They would rather get rid of all of their technology than get rid of food and eating, right? And in that way, I do believe our species is going to speciate, right? We're going to become multiple things. And the only way for us to not then devolve into warfare and hatred of one another is to remember that the thing underneath the things is one, right? That we are the same thing experiencing through different lenses, choosing to love all aspects of reality. And the only way for you to love certain aspects of reality is to be differently, right? You're like, oh, what do you mean melt? Oh, maybe you want to live in the ocean permanently. Maybe the place you feel most at home, most seen, most appreciated, most awe-inspired is next to the reefs, right? So with enough technology and enough engineering, you install gills, which allows you to now breathe the salt water, so you can stay underwater for hours at a time, right? You have to kind of modify yourself in that way to have the experience that it is you seek the most, to nourish your soul in the way that your soul seeks nourishment, right? There has to be a certain level of personal responsibility you have to take for how you are showing up as. And uh, if like the ocean analogy and the person wanting to dive into the ocean, needing gills, is the fractal, the thing I like to dive into is the internet, right? Is technology, is the binary, is the digital, right? So how do I have to change myself in order to be able to breathe the internet, right? To breathe the water. So yeah, that is what I think I'm ought to do. From the pure perspective of I'm not going to be the only one, right? And if you believe there will be entities with bad intent, then it's all the more important that you, as an entity that believes you have good intent, to play your role and to show up, right? Otherwise, those that you believe are going to ruin things will ruin things faster because they're gonna have no competition. Love is true. The freaking fridge is letting me know that it got turned off. Oh, bro. Sorry for dropping you almost. Let's get a new scene. Yeah. Just like that. Okay. Who? No. Maybe. I think I saw somebody else in the comments. Hey, there she is. It is Kristen. We've missed you, dear friend. Is it true that you went to Bali? I think Simon told us you went to Bali. I hope so. Sending you so much love. I hope you took pictures. Maybe she did let us know. I'm getting there. Okay. We're all from different places, and it's entertaining and educational to hear about how other people food. It helps me food better. Bless. Love is true. Going to be 12 Celsius tomorrow. That sounds not too bad from the freezing I've heard you've been having, right? It's a pyramid. At the bottom is physical needs, nourishment, Maslow's pyramid, right? Hey Google, can you show me Maslow's pyramid? Marvel's pyramid. It is Maslow, or it's Pavlov. Pavlov's pyramid. Pavlov? Maslow's. It's Maslow's. Thank you. Yeah. Maslow's pyramid. That's what it looks like. So at the very bottom is your psychological needs. No, reading is hard, okay? Physiological needs. Air, water, food, shelter, right? Sleep, clothing, reproduction. Do I need reproduction? Like I have been thinking about doing a stream topic about this, right? That technically, by evolution, you are driven to be horny, right? But I don't know how to talk about that topic in a way that's going to be spiritually uplifting. Maybe just letting yourself off the hook, right? If you feel bad for being sexual, sometimes, any of the time, realize that if not for sexuality, you would not exist. Our species would not exist, right? And if you didn't have that drive, our species would cease to exist, right? And if you believe it's good to exist, right? It's nice to be alive, then don't feel bad about having physiological needs. Then it's safety, personal security, employment, resources, health, property. The last one keeps getting me, bruh. Love and belonging, the third layer. Friendship, intimacy, family, a sense of connection. Fourth layer is esteem, respect, self-esteem, status, recognition, strength, and freedom. And then finally, it is self-actualization, the desire to become the most that one can be. Right? I really do try to live from that perspective, right? Really trying to put that desire to be the most one can be as and again, that is like an act of love, I believe. Being the most you can be, being the most loving, the most kind, the most wondrous, the most excited, the most willing, right? Person you can be in this life is how you give love to it. Your friends know how I feel about respect. You know how I feel about self-esteem, right? Literally calling you friends God, not because I'm trying to boost your ego, but because I'm trying to remind you, right? That's maybe you'll calibrate somewhere in between. It won't be as possible for you to literally take on the ego of God, right? Fully acknowledge that you have created everything in existence, right? But at least calibrating somewhere to not think of yourself as nothing, right? Getting closer to what the truth is. Status. Uh, Weirdly enough, the badges can also technically be like status, can fangle recognition, having your comments read, strength. You know how I feel about that. Yesterday's comment was about strength, right? The strength to let go. And yesterday's one of the topics we went into is freedom as well, right? Like the freedoms my technology allow me. Love and belonging. You know how I feel about friendship, intimacy, right? This is an intimate moment. Family. I do consider you friends, family, and a sense of connection. We can literally come back here every day and connect. And then you friends, through this, through like the top being honored first, have in turn helped me feel more personally secure. Like technically you are my employment on a weird fractal. You have brought resources into my life. Due to the yoga that I've been doing, that I've been bringing resources into my life, I believe my health has improved. And technically, I do have pieces of property, right? That's property, is it? Hey Google, I don't have to search that. I think property can still be a little something. It doesn't have to be a piece of land. So yeah, it's a very big part of our foundation. I think that's where we were going with the whole pyramid. The bless you again, thank you. I think Zano is literally writing it out in chat right now. Bless. I appreciate you so much. Food is not an addiction. It can be, but the reason everyone is equally brought together by food is because it is one of the base elements required for our species survival. Generational trauma. Oh, I get it, bro. I get it. I'm not saying us wanting to talk about food is bad or evil or impure or wrong or etc. etc. All I'm saying is it's distracting, right? That when you want to get work done, right? If you and I don't know how many of you friends have tried to like do work with a bunch of people. If you and a bunch of people need to be doing work and they are occupied with what they're gonna eat or trying to order food or like trying to cook something while you're working, like the work is not going to get done, not in the way it ought to be done, right? So it's not that the food is bad, it's not that the food needs to be cast aside. It's just that when we are occupying a state of mind, that is the state of mind we are to occupy, right? Until we have gotten the soul work done, the conscious evolution done that this topic of nourishment asks of us. And again, how do we nourish ourselves, right? Maybe some of us are nourished by talking about food. I personally am not. In fact, it is a trauma to me, right? Food has a very surreal part in my life, right? Where it is something that I wish didn't cause me as much distress as it did. And as soon as the food comments come up, the distress comes along with it. And it's not bad, it's an experience. And that experience takes away from my ability to be who I'm supposed to be, or as articulate, as conscious, as coherent, weirdly enough, and I already struggle with coherency sometimes. Mm, it's a necessity, like water. We need water. I'm not addicted to it. You see, I think you are. Like, and it's a joke that I'm making as well, Joy V. This is not me trying to be like, you're supposed to be ashamed of your addiction to water, air, and food. Not what I'm saying. It's just that it is like an addiction, right? In the same way that your ego is an addiction. Yes, you need it, but you're also kind of attached to it, right? Like it's a weird fractal. It's a weird fractal indeed. Someone in South Africa, someone in America, someone in Croatia. We all have different lives, but our meat vehicles require food. It's also breakfast time here. It's true, right? Exactly. It might be early enough that you haven't had anything to eat until like since last night, right? So it does end up becoming a theme in our streams. Softy, sunlight, air, water, food, thought, love, energy, and encouragement. I think that these are what we need to nourish ourselves and others. Yeah. Sunlight, air, water, food, thought, love, energy, and encouragement. Zano, I hadn't heard that before, but before you ever tried the second and third part, I already understood. I love that. Bless you. Thank you, Zano, for tuning into that information. Trying to kill the restaurant industry. A typical millennials. With the whole no more food, bruh. Yeah, yeah. Coming for the restaurant industry specifically. Did you know that the number one purchaser of potatoes in the world is McDonald's? They buy so many potatoes, right? Hey Google, how many metric tons of potatoes does McDonald's buy in a year? 2,400 tons of potatoes a day can be produced by one of the farms that is supplying. Bro, I feel like I'm getting bad info. Yeah, they're just giving me like very small farms as numbers and what percentage of their potatoes are going to be taken. There we go. There we go. This is 2018. But globally, the company buys 3.4 billion pounds of potatoes every year. 3.4 billion pounds. Let me get my calculator right now. I don't know what pound, like it's technically half it, but at that kind of scale, length mass. 3.5. 0.000000000. There we go. So that is, and tons as well, please. This feels okay. So it is 1.5, 1.6 rounded up million tons of potatoes every year. Let's take this number. Is that right? Yeah. 4,350 tons of potatoes a day. Tons. Yeah, okay. So if we take that number and we take like the average weight of a person being 80 kilograms. I weigh 80 kilograms, right? No, 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 no. I have to times that by 1,000. Suddenly my math looked very wrong. I was like, nah, that can't be right. Times 1,000 divided by 80. Yeah. So McDonald's sells 54,000 units of weight in potatoes, right? Of me. If I was made of potatoes, McDonald's would be selling 54,000 of that units a day. And that was in 2018. So yeah, like it's bonkers how much these global, food companies buy, bro. Like it's absurd. Like just like taking a second to do the math. All right. 54,000 of me in a day. All right. Hey Google, how many people can go on a plane? 100 to 600. Bro, like the more I do the math, the more absurd it becomes. The amount of logistic chains. How do you move that much volume? I mean, they're doing it. That's why they're making so much money, right? Technically, that's what McDonald's is doing well. Like they're a real estate and a logistics company more so than a restaurant company. We have a dude who is called McDonald in our freaking chat right now. That just took my brain on a spin. Hey, dude, it's nice having you here, friend. Sending you lovin's. Mm, need those thingies to be happening, functioning humans. Yeah, breathing the internet sounds like a fucking horrible idea. I mean, bro, the same way, you can technically, it's possible for us to breathe liquids, right? But you can try and breathe salt water, or you can try and breathe these formulated liquids, and one of them is going to serve you more than the other, right? And I do believe I'll get to choose which parts of the internet I breathe. And I'm gonna build myself a world, and I'm gonna populate that world, and then I'll step into that world, and then I'll breathe in that world, kind of vibe, right? Hopefully, it will be clean air that I'm breathing. Fingers crossed. I'd sooner vape transmission fluid, dog. Bless you, friends. Like again, this is me and my fractal. You don't have to do that stuff. That's what I'm gonna be doing. Again, the whole point is like the whole what nourishes you. What nourishes you, right? And then from that point of looking forward, how is it you'll nourish yourself? Will you nourish yourself in the way that you have been kind of calling for? Or are you going to nourish yourself the way that society expects you to? Dog Dad, enjoy the warmth, my dude. You're going to get a slammer next week, I think. I heard the river is way above normal flood stage. Bless you, friends. Hope you stay dry. I hope you took plenty of pictures and have lots to tell us when you get home. The Caribbean. Thank you. The Caribbean. Not Bali. Isn't Bali close to the Caribbean as well? Hey, Google. Is Bali close to the Caribbean? Okay. Uh, yeah, yeah. Very, very close to the Caribbean. Right? Closer to the Caribbean than Pretoria is to me, than I'm moving right now. But it's not the same, I'm guessing. I'm thinking about why. I think Simon did say Bali, right? Bless. I'm happy you had fun. Said that you love us, Christians. It's nice having you here. We missed you, dear friend. That's kind of what I was thinking. Maybe you can grow the rice instead. Yeah. Good morning, everyone. We have to become that happiness each one of us is seeking. Exactly. Nourishing ourselves so we can nourish one another, right? The world treating you today. Love is true. Mm-hmm. Profit doesn't mean land. It's having things to call your own. Yeah, That's how I was registering it as well. Jovi, thank you. That's one to evolve, but also not inclusive. You don't need a job to stay in tune with your authentic needs. I think it's more. I think job in that fractal was synonymous with purpose, right? I like using the word purpose. This is my purpose. This isn't my job, right? Like, and I'll joke and say I'm gonna go and do my job, but I have had jobs before, right? And I dreaded doing my job, despite the fact that I was being paid money for it. I didn't like it. I fucking hated doing my job. However, doing my purpose feels like I'm nourishing my soul, right? Like there's no resistance. This is what I ought to be doing, right? So, yeah, I agree. The point I'm trying to make with you, Zano, is that the word job is an outdated one at this point. That is some weird 2024 hierarchy of needs. The original is much more basic. I mean, these things keep changing, right? We don't need much to survive. We just need to simplify our world. That's not gonna happen. Unfortunately, right? Like it will get much more complex before we'll go back to the simple. We'll make it so complex that we'll wrap the complex in simple. And then to you it will be simple, but there'll be complex underneath. That's the closest we'll get to simple, Joshua. All I need is food, some water, and my trusty oatmeal spoon. You friends are more powerful than me. A spoon of your own. Love is true. I cook with a 100-year-old spoon with my great grandma's. I also have her potato masher, so wholesome. I totally get want to make a Gen Alpha hierarchy of needs just to stir the pot on Reddit. I'm imagining like the bottom layer be as like air, vape, iPad. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Like I shouldn't. The pyramid I commented is simplified. Love is true. It was beautiful. I cook with grandma's utensils too. It's a strange connection, but I feel her when I cook. I get it. That's so much love. I'm going to stir the pot melt. If food is distracting, isn't love distracting? Yeah, it is. Surely. Surely love can be distracting as well. But today's topic is about nourishment, right? Right? There is more to nourishment than just food. That's the point I'm trying to make. I'm trying to painfully make it. Like I'm trying to kick the door down of the metaphorical nourishment box in your brain. Man, like, brother, let me in. Right? And you and your food gleefully sitting, being like, only food in here. And all of the other things that nourish your soul just waiting outside, waiting to be let in, not being given the time of day. Oh, no, no. Mel, do you ever feel like listening to us talk about food can help you work with or process the complicated emotions that come up? Like finding where it is in your body and breathing through it? No. The problem is it's distraction, right? It's like the same thing if I'm making art. And this is a work of art to me, right? If I'm making a piece of art and then suddenly I have hamburger and I'm hamburgering in my face, then I cannot art. That's where it gets me, Zano, is that it's a distraction to what I'm doing. Right? Yes, I love eating food. I love it. Right? I'll literally eat the world's mangoes. I'll turn myself orange eating mangoes because I love them. But if I'm sitting here having this conversation, I'm supposed to be here having this conversation, right? Versus slicey slicey mango. Mango's nice. So nice mango. Right? Like that is a different state of being, and I'm actively not occupying that state of being. That's why I don't make mukbang content, right? I'm not filming myself eating copious amounts of food because that's not my job. I'm like, yo, avocado, avocado as it be. I'll try to give thanks to every part of my meals. Thank you for nourishing my body as you nourish my soul. For me, it's an attempt to recognize the sacrifice that I've been made for my meals. Little moments of genuine gratitude seem to keep me focused on how privileged I am to be here. Gratitude, in my mind, is the best antidote for depression, Brother Bear. Like the scale, right? The more gratitude, the less depression. The more depression, the less gratitude, kind of vibe. And this is me from my personal perspective. I'm not saying that's how it is, please. And let me tell your knows how to cook that potato. They do. We have to eat them quick though. We are fortunate and we are free. Let us take a moment to give thanks. Weirdly enough, the word free registered to me very much through the American lens, and I saw a barbecue, right? And a bunch of people, barbecuing burger patties or something. Sending you love. I don't know where Bali is. I don't either, bro. But apparently it's close to the Caribbean islands. All this talk of oatmeal, making me some oatmeal strawberries. That does sound nice. I'm doof. Costco gives me anxiety. I will never know. I'm eating air for breakfast. Best breakfast. We don't technically need to eat breakfast, right? We we can get away with eating only one meal a day. I have found when I'm my most energetic and happiest and satisfied with my eating fractal is when I do intermittent fasting. But it is one of those things that as soon as you fall off, you are more likely to continue to. Costco pizza and hot dogs are good and point. Good on point, good and cheap. I really like going. Makes it okay. Can shop as a single person. You're not allowed to walk in by yourself, Joy Vive. I was also fooding. I must wait, but potatoes are worth it. I've never been to Costco or IKEA. We don't have IKEAs or Costco's here in South Africa, so I can say the same. By the sound of it, they feel like the amusement park of shopping. I want to go to an IKEA as well for that reason, right? Just to see all of the cool desks. Yeah, with the funny names. Yeah. We don't have much of that stuff here in South Africa. Therefore, I tell you, do not worry about your life, what you will eat, or about your body, what you will wear. For life is more than food, and the body more than clothes. To some of your friends who don't know, but that's a line directly from the Bible, I believe. Our beloved Sam beautifully shared with us. Yeah. The Bible knows. Jovan, it's a whole vibe. It just inspires so many emotions. I avoid it for a long avoid it for as long as you can. Avoid it, right? Why? I hate IKEA so much. I have a DuckTales. You should tell it one day, bro. Like IKEA, the bed I'm laying on is from IKEA. Like I like how all this whole fractal of like all of the different opinions of IKEA. For me, IKEA is like brand that I have never had access to, and I would have liked to have access to. That's how I see IKEA, right? It's like I would have probably had IKEA furniture if I had access to IKEA furniture, but because I don't. And I would rather want the opportunity to than not have the brand kind of vibe, right? So I can't hate it, but I can't say I love it either. Joe, bro, Bali is like 18 hours from the Caribbean. I did see something about like 22-hour flight, bro, but then I saw like 120 kilometers just below that. So maybe my brain got scrambled. An island somewhere on the planet is where our beloved Kristen went. Joe, have you tried the errant thoughts about what you might with a large quantity of butter? Burying yourself in Cheeto? Uh, aren't helping us get down to brass tacks. No, Zano, that's not what I'm saying. It's like it's an art, right? Like this is to me art. Might not seem that way, but being who I am, the autistic version of myself that would rather lock himself in a box and say nothing. This is a challenge to me, something that I feel I ought to be doing, something that nourishes my soul, right? And then when I continue with my day and the energy in my stored physical system runs out, I need to eat mangoes. I'm not doing this for my physical body, I'm doing this for my soul, right? Yes, physical mangoes can be nourishing. I can feel like my soul rejoices in eating the mangoes. But there's a time and a place, and this is neither the time nor the place to be eating mangoes, right? That's why when my mom brings me food items, I'm very unlikely to eat it, or my sister brings me food items. Like, I don't want to be eating or drinking stuff right now because it's not my state of being. I get that it's an act of love, you wanting to feed me, you wanting to nourish me, but it doesn't register that way, unfortunately. Unfortunately, right? And it's like a brain damage thing, so like you cannot undo it, right? It's like getting angry when somebody chews next to you very loudly, right? Sure, you can put in earphones and ignore it. Sure, you can do breathwork exercises until they finish their food, but it doesn't change the fact that that experience causes you distress. Right? Like this distress is there, whether or not you say something about it. I feel like I need to experience it at least. Yeah, I want to go to the Metro Mart. I think that's what it's called in Texas. No, in Vegas. I believe Kristen told us that it's close to her as well. I'm only doing intermittent fasting to count calories. I mean, it's great if it doesn't. If it does all the things it says they do, it does. The whole insulin thing is a big deal, especially since you are on that side of the world, to say it like that. And as many words, Joy Vive, I believe you stand to benefit a very lot, right? Maybe to the point of being healed. This is me wishful thinking, but I can see it happening. with enough time. And as you mentioned, like that's kind of why it was easier for me as well, is because it's so much easier to count your calories. You get to count all of your calories in like one setting, and then you're like done for the day until you have to come back to it the next day to feed yourself, to nourish yourself. I'm just thinking of it like I feel upset, sad, or angry. I'll pick music that allows my brain to access these emotions and help support their flow through my body. Over time, when the emotions release, I gradually shift to more upbeat to help increase dopamine level and decrease cortisol. Yeah. The thing is, in that fractal, uh, like thinking of like when I feel upset, sad, or angry, I start feeling upset, sad, or angry every single time I feel like my mind gets derailed, right? Like to give you more context, one of the experiences that I get the angriest with myself over and the the like disappointment and like injustice I feel like I'm committing to the world is when I lose my train of thought, when I forget what I was about to say or where I was going with my narrative. And then as soon as I see a food comment, it like automatically shifts my state of being into, oh, I need to consume as flesh in order to continue moving, right? It's not the state of being I was in, right? And then it derails me, and then I lose my train of thought, and I start thinking about other things, and I start losing mind. I built some amazing with a burger in one hand. I'm sure, bro. Yeah, let me just go get my box. Costco is a big box store. It sells bulk. As a single person, I don't need family-sized bags of breakfast sausage. Oh, that makes sense. Okay. Maybe you don't have like a box freezer or something to keep your stuff fresh. We didn't even get off the boat. So Bahamas or Bali, same difference. You were on a cruise. Okay, that's more context. Bless. I miss you all so much. We missed you too. Release, love again. Joy Vive, can you hook up some with someone else single and just use them to split groceries with? Yeah, that's a good idea actually. You and your exes is close enough to be friendly, right? Melty, there's a weed infused hot sauce being released here in Chicago, made by a small group of people. I'm going to reach out to them and see what peppers they use. Oh, maybe, yeah. Dude, that would be super cool. Like sell them on the whole. We have a saying, local is lacquer. Like going local, buying the chilies from you would be a nice way to support their local industries as well. It'd be awesome if you could grow peppers with them. Really awesome, right? Just up your fractal as well, dude. Maybe you could go and smoke some joints with them while you're talking business. Uh, yeah, but for the art, I'm not talking about food. I'm talking about bettering the self. I feel like, unfortunately, those are like I'm missing the context then, because we've been talking about that fractal. Okay, I don't understand. I'm sorry. Sam, I tried doing that, and I still just end up with too much. It's hard to stop, even at a regular grocery store. Sometimes it sucks when food goes bad because it costs so much. I agreed. Yes, I can't wait to see the Meow Wolf thing. Omega Mart, I believe. There it is. Thank you. Yeah, I have it saved on one of my lists. Omega Mart. It's one of the places I would like to go if I ever go to America. It's part of our art to consciously evolve through these sticky feelings. And I agree with that, Zano. It's not that I don't feel like I can't handle it, right? I could ignore it, but then I would be doing the opposite of nourishing my soul. I might be nourishing yours, right? And I and again, let me reframe today's whole stream topic with how we started it. We are taught as a species from a very young age how to nourish other people, right? When it comes to these sort of things, how to accept, how to bend our knee for their needs, right? Like we are taught how to do that. But we're not taught into the same capacity or the same volume how to nourish ourselves, right? And it is unnourishing to me to talk about food. It degrades my being. It makes me feel like You know, like it brings up the part of me that eats as a coping mechanism, right? Like that part of me has to be in the room when we're talking about that. And it's not that that part of me isn't also me, but it's not the version of me that I need to be here, right? It's not the version of me that I need to be for my art. At least that's the way I try to see it. It's a fractal of, like making art when you're hungry or whatever, right? Like, is your art going to be worse or better depending on what state of being you find yourself in, like that? Maybe you need a good freezer and a vacuum sealer. Dry goods will hold a long time if you keep them sealed. That's true. It's a valid thing to get angry about. I'm not angry about it. I'm not angry about it. I want to make that very clear. It just takes away my ability to be as clear as I want to be, right? Like, you're not gonna get, like, that's the thing. It's like you're not gonna get the best possible experience, right? That's not who I am. Somebody that I'd recommend to you, for example, is like Rhett and Link. If you want to watch foodie stuff, Rhett and Link, Good Mythical Kitchen. They have, I've forgotten his name, but I love his character so much. Is it Ryan? I think it might be Ryan or something like that. Hey Google, who is the host for Good Mythical Kitchen? Mythical Chef Josh. This dude, right? Like, if you want to go and talk food and have the food experience with someone in the internet, this is your dude. This dude will food you out of your mind, right? Like, he's an amazing person when it comes to that food fractal. I, however, am not that person, right? Unfortunately, I am not that person. And it doesn't mean I'm less, doesn't mean he's more. It just means that we are different. And we have found different things that nourishes our souls. No, 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 no. It's okay, it's part of life. We love you anyway. Thank you, Zano. Bless. How do you stop freezer burn on food? It's not that big of a deal, right? Unless you leave your food in the freezer for like years at a time, freezer burn is not that big of a deal anymore. Melty, you would never survive with a Polish grandma. She would kill you for not eating more. I can hear her voice in my head. Mikey, you small because you don't eat enough. Grandma, I'm on my third plate. Grandma, please stop being so savage. I intermittent fast on work days. The problem is it messes up my mood. I get real grumpy towards the end of the day. Do you eat at the start of the day in that case? Right? Maybe facilitate for that, right? If you feel yourself very grumpy at the end of the day, maybe only eat your meal at the end of the day in that case. Freezer burn happens when food gets exposed to dry, cold air. Secondary, the reg for food, sealing stuff. Exactly. Thank you, Sam, for adding that definition as well. Indoors today, fun change. I'm happy you like it. Technically, it hasn't been raining outside for a while now. I've been meaning to go outside. I'll do so soon. I'll put a card and then I'll go and play my kalimba. My brain thought, if I got mad every time I lost my train of thought, I'd be Bowser levels of mad all day. It's only when it's conversational, bro. Like, it's only when I'm talking to someone and I'm trying to, because I take a lot of responsibility. That's the thing. It's not only me that I'm catering for in this moment, but I'm catering for all of you friends in this moment alongside me, right? And there are people in this space right now who might not want to have, who might not be nourished by a certain conversation. And not only in this moment, but I also think about these streams as having of like value indefinitely, right? So maybe 100 years from now, somebody accidentally clicks on this stream, right? I believe they'll be able to get more value out of the stream if we're talking about, A instead of talking about B in certain circumstances, right? And like, that's a certain level of responsibility that I take to be like, yes, people might give you some of their time, right? And if they're willing to give you some of their time, that time is very valuable. And you need to make the most of that time that you have. And the food fractal, I do not have the equipment, I do not have the articulation, I do not have the words to give you as much love in that fractal. Josh, mythical chef Josh, he'll like take you on an adventure. Like, seriously, just thinking about that dude, my soul becomes happy. And like, I watch his stuff for the food stuff. Weirdly enough, I haven't watched this stuff in a very long time. I'm sorry, Josh. I love you still, bro. But yeah, go check out his stuff. He's a cool dude. You'll like him. Mm-hmm. Good mythical morning. Didn't know about their food show. You didn't? It's amazing, Kristen. Like you'd love it, especially Josh. Oh, bro, like I love Josh so much. I think he's one of my favorite internet personalities ever. Right? Like, and I'm saying this technically having PewDiePie as my number one, but if I had to be friends with someone, I would rather be friends with Josh than PewDiePie. I'm sorry, Pewds. I'm sorry, bro. Josh is just too cool. Josh is like an absolute mad lad. You know, like he's a mad lad personified. That's the way I see Josh at least. Okay. Mm, to seal a chicken booby in a Ziploc or other food pouch filled with boobs and cells. Then place bag in bowl of water so water compresses around bute. Remove the air. Put in freezer. That's good advice. Yeah, like it's only as you know, Sam said that when you have like a bare breast or a bare steak, you know, and as the like cold air is circulated, that's how freezer burn happens. It's really big when you can notice these things. Wow, having that you with food anxiety in the room, super interesting. Like you know, like he doesn't want to be seen kind of vibe. That's the other thing, Zano. That food anxiety version of me doesn't want to be looked at, right? You might know what I'm talking about. Like when you are binge eating, the last thing you want is somebody walking in on you and seeing that you're binge eating. One. The last thing you want is them putting their arms to their sides and watching you as you scuff down more and more food, right? Like that's how it that's like that part of myself like starts tripping out instantaneously. Uh, I fast all the time. I eat like a pig for a few days and then I just don't eat for a day or two. It's always been like that. I don't guess that it is actually healthy, bro. Like unironically, it is healthy. It's healthier to do that than it is to consistently eat 3 meals a day, right? And literally, because you have like, and this might be weird, but slime linings in your gut, right? That's like literally a goo layer between your gut and the stuff that's in your gut. And if you keep eating stuff, that slime layer never has the opportunity to replace itself and replenish, right? It's ceaselessly just having to be there to make sure that it creates an environment that the food doesn't touch your inner lining directly, you know, because you'll die. You'll die if it touches you, kind of vibe. So giving that slime lining a little bit of a break by intermittent fasting really is actually good for you. I think people should experiment with the intermittent fasting window that works best for them. Agreed. It works best for me to fast in the morning and start eating at noon, and my window closes at 8 and I go to bed at 9. That sounds perfect. Yeah. Noon is 4, right? 4 to 8. So you have like a 4-hour eating window, which means you're fasting for 20 hours, which is like the warrior loop or whatever. That's the one I used to do as well, actually, Joyviv. 4 hours to eat is more than enough time to get all of your calories. And then this is like the other side for me is I get to satiate that food anxiety part of myself, right? That food anxiety part of myself gets to eat as much as he needs to be satiated and full. And then the work part of myself gets to work and not have to worry about the whole food fractal. You seem a little stressed. I am, bro. I am feeling. I am. Like, I am stressed. 100%, not little. I am a lot stressed. Change, right? There is change coming, and I haven't moved in a long time, technically speaking. 3 years. A bit more than 3 years now. Since the last time I lived in one place and then started living in another. So I have been feeling this like low hum anxiety and irritability, like a lot of irritability as well. Like I'm angry at something, you know. And then I keep asking myself, I sit down with myself and I'm like, why are you so angry? Oh?" And like one of the things that I've identified as to why I'm angry is because I feel like I cannot afford certain things. And I wish I could. without having to think about it. And that causes me anger. And I'm like, oh, interesting. I see why you're angry about that. And just doing that with myself already helps, right? It like breaks that pattern of, oh, angry, 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 angry. And then when you go, reason, your mind goes, oh, reasoning, reason. And then just by doing that, you're not angry, 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 looping inside yourself. But I totally get that peeps that need to eat as soon as they get up need a different intermittent fasting window. Exactly. Sleeping on a belly, yeah, exactly. I also don't advise it. Eating after 9 p.m., that is. I don't like to go to bed on an empty stomach, so I usually have dinner around 6. That sounds good too. Actually, judge you. Apparently, you're supposed to like give it between 2 and 4 hours before you sleep. And one of the things that could help is just like moving a little bit, going for a little walk. Actually, judge you. I think it's healthy. Your body goes into homeostasis that way. You are healing you, literally. Food anxieties. I don't like eating at a table with people. I don't like staring at people while they eat. And I don't like being stared at while I'm eating. Yeah, me too, bro. Like, and I feel like it is a part of our biology as well, you know, to not, like, maybe the thing that we are doesn't actually eat the way that we eat in this life. So it feels very unbecoming sometimes to be seen eating. An episode of Star Trek Enterprise is for you. Did you know that your heart has a tiny brain? I knew that my heart has neuronal cells in the same way my brain has neuronal cells. I guess that's what you mean, right? So your heart can think in the same way your brain thinks, with neurons firing between each other. Swampy beat me to it. Star Trek episode for everything. What do you wish you can afford right now, Melty? Everything. Weirdly enough, immediately air conditioning. Actually, Joy, air conditioning is the thing that I wish I could afford easily right now because, bruh, dude, like it's fucking sucks here in South Africa a little bit right now. You know, especially when it gets so humid. To give you an idea, you know, I tried to rest a little bit before getting ready for my live stream, and I thought, erroneously so, that I'll be able to rest just sitting down, right? And I was like, oh, I don't have to go and get my fan, right? I'm just gonna lay down, and it's literally, I had 5 minutes to chillax. I had 5 minutes to chillax, and I go, yeah, I have only 5 minutes. I'm not gonna waste my time, my 5 minutes, going and getting a fan. And I sit there, you know, trying to gather myself, and it's so hot that I cannot gather myself. That I have to get up and have a fan directly pointing at myself, right? And the noise that adds, and the energy costs, and it causes me angry. It causes me angry, Javi. And it's unnecessary, right? It's not like, you know, somebody is doing something wrong. It's just my own irritability and my ego kind of catastrophizing, giving itself reasons to be angry or whatever. Okay, enemy. Sorry for the sounds. What was I saying? That should be it. The rain fell, and then the rain went. Oopsie doopsie. I dropped some things. At least it's made of metal. Oh. No. Let me. Should I bring you closer? Or do you like the little bit of a further away view? There we go. Good enough. There we go. Love is true. I love eating with people, but I can't handle being the only one eating. Won't do it unless I'm trying to fake confidence. Yeah, same. Same. So beautiful that you say that as well. You know, like my family will eat without me a lot, especially since I started live streaming. Right? It's a joke. It really is a joke because sometimes we'll only start cooking our meals, you know, like literally at 9 at night or whatever, right? And we'll only eat like at 10 p.m. or whatever. And then some days they're like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna eat dinner now," while it's like 4:30 p.m. while I'm still live streaming. I'm like, okay. And then they'll sometimes still be sitting in the living room by the time I'm done streaming, and then they'll want to sit there with me while I eat, and I go, "Nay, nay, I will take my food with me. Thank you very much. I do not want to be stared at while I'm eating." Hey, Nancy. Blessings to you, friend. Nice having you here. Sending you so much lovin's. I must go, Melty. Be kind to yourself. You are the way. You are on the way to a totally different journey. Everyone, be well, be happy, be full, be full of food. You are so much love. You are so loved. Love is true. Thank you, Duck Dad. I have some lemon pudding in here. It's running out. It makes me big sad. Why does my weed keep disappearing slowly but surely? Tell it to stop. Tell it to come back. Tell it I'm sorry. Tell it I'm sorry. No, 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 no. Air conditioner wouldn't work since you all never have power. Yeah, bro, that's the thing. That's the other thing, Duck Dad, is I know that. So I also want batteries and solar, right? Which adds to the anger of not being able to afford things right now. I had to break down and get AC a few years ago. You never needed it before. Now with the climate change, you need AC. Also, with the wildfires, you need it to breathe when your home is shut up to keep smoke out. Yeah. Like I don't even know if it was a it might be like a little bit of a climate change thing. It's been hot in East Africa for a very long time, but it's gotten wet here in South Africa more so than anything, right? It's not just like dry heat. It used to be very dry heat. Now it's like humid, you know, like heavy, and like that. I remember in China, I experienced a lot of that weather as well, and I couldn't teach my classes without air conditioning. I couldn't sleep without air conditioning. So it is something that's very important to me, but it is something that's very expensive here in South Africa. But I will make a plan. I will do what needs to be done. Sorry if I made you more fussy, Mel. No, it's okay. It's supposed to be the way it's supposed to be, Zano. Love is true, right? Love is true. I take these things as they come. Bro, like the flies getting on my body. I've been chasing them away over and over again. Okay. That's definitely lemon. You look so pretty in the inside light, but I'm guessing it's cooler outside after the storm. Yeah, exactly. I do look better with the inside light. I think it's because technically, where I'm sitting right now, the entire house is technically throwing shadow onto my face, and then I'm filling that shadow with a light. So the lighting is not ideal, but it is better than not having the lighting at all, right? Thank you, Dad. Is it possible to build a Persian ice cooler where melt is? I think I know what a Persian ice cooler is, but not in the place I'm moving. And I feel like you have to design the building up when you want to do Persian ice coolers, right? I know you're dealing with lots. It's okay, Zana. I can always deal with more, right? All of us can always deal with a little bit more. I'm taking these moments in stride, reminding myself that love is true. Sorry if I seemed very irritable or angry or all of that. I wasn't. I was just standing by what I had said. Well, it's a big one. Ja, Dad, Praveen. Allemaal in. En dan gaan naar je business bij, like. Dat is een goede idee. Exactly, ja. Ek gaan sien daarso waar ek my plante se grondige ontwikkel het. Nou ek hulle uit te trek het. Nog steeds, as jy met 'n graaf daarso onder gaan grow, is nog steeds so fluffy. I like it. Melt will get through it, bud. It's okay to be mad at the world from time to time. It's a natural reaction from an observant mind. Yeah. Own it, process it, and overcome it. The way I am processing it, owning it, and planning to overcome it is just by taking full responsibility, you know, where I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna have to figure out a way to make the money I need to make to afford the things I need to afford. It can be done. Yeah. yeah. It'll take some doing, but it can be done. Joy Vive, how hot does it get where you are? I'm shocked you didn't have AC. She was in California, right? So yeah, especially if you're in an apartment building. Maybe it doesn't get that hot if you're in an apartment building actually, because I don't know if you are even. Doesn't really matter. Make lamps, brother. Weirdly enough, let me show you this actually. Yesterday I was thinking about you, Zano. And then I went, Zano gave me a really good business idea. All right, and there it is. It's my products category, sorry. Flower lamps. Thank you, Zano. Make lamps with your flowers, either stained glass or vinyl stickers for light pass through. Yeah, that is a good idea, Zano. Again, I don't think I have a shortage of motivation or willpower. I do, however, have a shortage of materials and potentially clientele, because I can make lamps, that I can do. Easy peasy, I can make lamps. Can I buy the material for the lamps? Yeah, at this point, I think I might be able to buy material for the lamps. Not many, but some. Will I be able to sell the lamps? And there the anger, arises again, where like suddenly this is some bullshit. Why is everybody not already acknowledging the magnificence of my art and clamoring to purchase it? Why universe? The universe goes, wait 25 years. 25 years, bro. I've only lived for 25 years. It's like, wait, bro. In your 50s, your art will be valuable. I'm hot right now, I say to the universe. The universe says, shh. Thank you, universe. That was very gentle. I appreciate that. Also, last year is a blur. It did go by quickly. It really did. Javiv, I don't remember. But who knows when it will change. It's also true. I used to be much cooler here in North Cal. Now it's SoCal light. But yeah, last summer was more normal. Good. Time is so strange now and then. It has been pretty strange for me as well, dear friends, for what it's worth. Time has literally completely lost all of its importance. Right? For me, time is only right now. Right? And it's from that perspective that I get angry sometimes, because I know all the things I will ever want for, I will have right now. Yeah, right? But then I get angry with this version of myself for not being okay with that kind of vibe, right? Like, oh, why can't you just be okay with being hot, bro? Why do you have to be angry about it? I ask myself, and my body goes. And I'm like, yeah, that's a valid point you have there. I'm gonna back out now and lock you in your padded room. Okay. Make your demon sounds if you're hungry. Time is so strange now. Stained glass lamps would be pretty awesome. Yes, it would. But again, the amount of time I'll have to spend. The amount of time I'll have to spend doing stained glass. My mom used to do stained glass, actually. Let me show you. Let me show you. My mom has, oh, excuse me. My mom has some of her stained glass pieces in the house. Mm-hmm. That one hanging right there. That's my mom's. My mom made that. She made that one too. Right, Zano? So you sharing that information with me, right? That actually like register as like, yes. Yes, it can be done. But I've also watched my mom make stained glass. And it is a mission. It is a mission. So, yeah, and we'll see. Ideally, goodness. Ideally, I'll be able to CNC cut the glass for me. That's probably 100% how I'll do it if I do it with glass. Nice, mom. She made that. Mom is so red. Oh, my mom did make those. My mom can make those things. She can bake. She's made her own dresses. She's made me pairs of pants. You friends know that. She can. She can do a 2-minute plank. My mom would be proud of me saying that one. My mom was proud of that one about herself as well. My mom can do a 2-minute plank, straight up. My mom has challenged dudes to planks and won. My mom is a gangster. She's a really cool lady. Sending her blessings. I hope she knows how much I love her. I tell her, don't you start assuming things. I tell my mom I love her all the time. But and I said this during my last mushroom trip, during the New Year's one. They came back. I was still very tripping, and I just told them it sucks that we as human beings in our current culture do not have more means of letting each other know just how much we love each other. Right? Like that came through as like a deep sadness to me. And that sadness only sank in after I was angry about it. Oh, never mind, just bad internets. Oh no. No, you're not. We see you. We see you. Love to you, Kristen. No, 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 no. What's wrong? If you're going to be near a body of water, maybe use wood that washed up from the base. For the lamps? Like lamp stamps? Like stems? Weirdly enough, like I thought about hanging lamps the whole time. I never thought about like desk standing lamps. I think I like that even more. Am I gonna do stained glass though, bro? I'm gonna have to simplify my designs. That's the only thing that I'm really tripping out about Zano. Is I don't think I'll be able to one-to-one at the very least carry my designs over to stained glass like that. I could potentially, but then I'm going to have to like literally freaking use sand grains, you know. Then we're just back to pixels technically. 2-minute plank, right on. Yeah, love is true. Nah, I don't think we're in hell. I don't think so either. I think we're in the cusp of a dimensional shift. Yeah, that sounds a little bit more right. And it's just reaching this threshold. The lines are getting less defined, and the idea of infinity has taken root. Exactly. Right? And if you look at the amount of companies that are being opened right now that have infinities in their branding, right? Like there very much is this shift happening in our species right now, where for the longest time we lived linear lives, right? I am born, I go to school, I work a job, I retire, I die, right? That used to be the way we would see our own lives. That's the hope we had for ourselves, right? Maybe along the line, you had a family, you had a nice house, you had a car to drive, food to eat, or whatever, right? Now, that no longer is what we look forward to. Some of us don't believe we can have it, right? From the perspective of retiring is impossible with this capitalist society we're in, right? We can't afford a home, we can't have a family like we used to. There's that one side of it. So that old fractal is melting in that capacity. But then there is also the technology that is becoming awakened right now, and the exponential amount more time will live as a result of it. And that is also going to completely melt the old models. And time is going to melt alongside it. I think 3 days ago, I had a stream topic about why don't we ask for a breath instead of for a second from someone, right? Like that should be our measure of time. Like how many breaths will something take? Not how many seconds, right? Because seconds is it's a useless metric technically for the human experience. I get it works in science, right? If you want to do maths, but for myself, let's spend 2 breaths. Calming down. I don't know how many seconds that was, but it was very simple for me to allocate that 2 breaths worth of time and just to calm down a little bit, right? So I feel like that's the way time is going to shift for us a little bit. And again, like in those 2 breaths, I could have had 1 billion years of experience. Technically. Technically, I could have. Right? So time doesn't matter. I tell her I love her, but I run away when she tries to grab me. Your mom? Your mom's stained glass is so cool. Bless you, friends. Mama Melt is so talented. Yeah. I keep saying to you, friends, that she is my original guru, right? She is my spiritual teacher. She was the one who kind of like gave me the building blocks or the foundation on which I'm trying to now build a castle. Querful just flew over me. So yeah, my mom, I would not be who I am if not for my mom. Process of crossing the threshold. Yeah. I thought you liked Hugs Joy. I listened to Sunday stream yesterday and was so flippin' flappin' pumped to hear about your burp trip. What burp was it that you identified? Love is true. So nice seeing you're excited. Judge it do so much, yes. Use paper mache or literally print your flowers off and use a matte medium to transfer them onto an upcycled lampshade. That would actually be even easier. Bruh, these flies. Oh, hey Google, what? Nope, it's not working properly. No, now it's bricking my entire computer. Nice, I like that. There we go. Get back to it. We have been forced to feel finite. The reality that we are eternal consciousnesses has become the new lesson. Exactly. And that conscious evolution that comes with it, right? That's a great idea, Mel. Bless. If you want to make the shade yourself, maybe buying sheets of plastic, maybe vellum, and paste all your flowers down, let it dry, then use a bit of heat to curve and bam, coat hanger wire for the frame. That does sound nice as well. The way I would probably do it, if I were to do it, is I would find a company that can print my stickers in extremely high definition, caveat or requirement number one, and also has the ability to print my stickers on a transparent vinyl. So then I can take my actual stickers that are on transparent vinyl and then put them directly over the lamp, right? And then as the light shines through it, they become illuminated by the light. That's the way I thought about doing it. I have actually put some decent amount of thought in it. Whoa. A drop almost fell on my cards in my kalimba. I think it's a reminder. Melty. Same thing, brother. My mother was my spiritual guru for many years. She explained this world to me in the way that I carry with me today. My mom, unfortunately, did not do much work in teaching me about spirituality. She taught me about relationships, right? And it is that lesson, that foundation in relationship that has allowed me to form a better relationship with myself, with what we call God, with friends and family, with, the world as I see it. She doesn't argue with me though, right? She listens. That's also very beautiful. I got to identify one of many duck species from a field guide. I saw some ergots too. Bless. Choshmo saying she got sick, and it is heartbreaking reality that I don't get to talk with her the same way I used to. Cherish the moments you have with your mama. I do, bro. I also know, at the very least, that the moments that we have shared never go away. I wish my family was a little bit more proactive about joining me on these streams. The only way for them to join me is if I deliberately almost have to tell them to show up for it. Right? Like literally, I want you to be here at 4 p.m. And then when 4 p.m. comes, I have to let them know that I am waiting. And that, right, it's the whole, you want people to love you, but you want them to love you by themselves. And if you had to ask for the love, it no longer is as valuable as it would have been if you didn't have to ask, right? Like I had a whole moment tripping out about that fact, the whole asking for love thing, and how it like reduces the importance we apply to it. That would be ideal, but maybe for the beginning to save costs. It could actually work as well. You're right. My mom's feeling better. She just turned 70. Bless her heart. Bless her health. Sending her so love. My mom just turned 72, January 20th. Bless her, 10 days ago. Happy birthday to your mom too. Bless. Joy, I totally get that. It took a really long time for me to not feel that way about my dad. It's an energy exchange. Some energy is hard to invite. Yeah. Yeah, that is the struggle, right? Do you have something on your nose? Let me see that. Let me see that. Oh, it's just some droppy waters. It's weird. All right, card time. My mom is January 20th, 24th. That's a pretty big trip, actually. That's very close to one another. They could be friends. They could be friends. But they're probably too far away from one another. My mom's birthday would have been tomorrow. I look forward to celebrating the memory of that amazing woman tomorrow. You can honor her today by saying her name if you want to, dear friend. Sending you love. Sorry for the loss of the physical form of your mom. I'm so happy that you're still celebrating the memory of her. Okay, supernovas. I gotta go and prepare myself and get out in the world. Enjoy each other. Love to you, Nancy. Thank you for sharing some of yourself with us. We pulled this card as well. The last 3 cards we've pulled have been cards we've pulled, right? And it feels almost now a little bit weird. And we did kill a snake yesterday again. A black mamba, actually. My brother almost got bit by it. The initiation. Goodness. Wait a second. At 5:38 p.m. That is about 12 minutes ago. Joe Schmo said, I think we're on the cusp of a dimensional shift, and it's just reaching the threshold. The initiation, rite of passage, crossing the threshold. Crossing the threshold. Maybe we're missing something. Your deck is broken. No, I feel like the deck is just making sure we understand. Making sure we understand what's happening right now. Purple. I mean, the place we want to be going is purple, Zano, so I'll count that one, right? Like, if I want to be anywhere, I want to be where the purple is. My mom's name was Flo. She is with me every day. Literally, like the mitochondria that your mom's cells has is the same mitochondria that you have right now, right? Like there's like a mitochondrial line through all through all matriarchs that continues indefinitely, right? So literally, the cells that powered every single one of her cells is the same cells powering you right now. Black Mamba, yeah, bruh. Look at them snackies. The snackies, right? That one looks like Black Mamba vibes. This one. My mom's name was Esther. My dad called her Etz. That's so cute. Her deck is broken. Supernovas, I like that. Love you, Nancy. Bless. Okay, the initiation. Number 68. I love the name Esther. 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 It sounds so soft and endearing. It does. Esther. My name starts with an S as well, like that. So I feel like I am in part biased. The initiation. Some of the most sacred initiation chambers and temples look scary from the outside, but are breathtakingly beautiful on the inside. This represents the journey that the soul pilgrim is required to take to reach somewhere sacred. But only the initiated can enter. Perhaps that's where you are right now. You are being tested. Is the food thing a test? Are you testing me right now? What's happening? Why? Why, bro? Why? Why is it a weird test? But only the initiated can enter. Perhaps that's where you are right now. You are being tested. Initiated because you are headed somewhere sacred. Initiations require we cross the threshold from one world or state of being to another. We are called to face what scares us and have to be willing to lose it all in order to gain a new way of being, of safety, of security, of depth of meaning. Initiations, like rites of passages, mark the shift from one age to the next and can take place because of emotional turmoil, great loss, grief, or devastation. But it is through the seeming hardship that our heart cracks open and our spirit is invested to step forward. It says invested, not invited. We take the sacred voyage into more of who we are and who we came here to be, right? Nourishing ourselves. It can be painful and scary, but once we begin the journey, we can be more ourselves than ever before. If you are in the middle of an initiation right now, you will get through it, and one day soon, you will bless the thing that broke you down and cracked you open because the world needed you open. You are going somewhere sacred. It will be worth it. and you're closer than you think. I'm moving in 3 days. I'm literally moving in 3 days. Like this card is tripping me out right now, but woo! There's a whole story he's leaving out. Me? How do you just drop and leave? Okay, so my brother and his girlfriend walked to the baking house, right? My mom has like a little baking kitchen that is in the other like unit. Like this house was built, and then that house was built with like the materials that they found around the farm kind of vibe. And my mom has her little baking kitchen in there. So my brother and his girlfriend were walking there, and then they saw on the wall a snake kind of like peering out, right? And my brother walked past it like this, like the pillar was here and it was wrapped around the pillar, and my brother and his girlfriend walked past it like this, right? Like literally, that much of a distance away from this literal one bite death if you don't get immediate medical attention kind of snake. And noticing it, there was a massive panic. The massive panic made the snake feel more panicked. The snake ended up crawling up the wall and into like a nook next to the wall. And then a shotgun was put inside said hole. And I only heard the gunfire. And that's when I was illuminated about the fact that there was a snake. That's when I came outside my room. So I wasn't really there for much of the story. I'm telling the story of the storytellers right now. So maybe that's why I skipped over it. It wasn't my story to tell kind of vibe. He didn't die, Joy. If he didn't crap his pants, there's nothing else to tell, is there? True. At least now you know some of the context, right? Sorry for just skipping over it. Almost got offed yesterday by a black mamba. Yeah, like there was no like actually got chased down or like dodged the snake. It was more like walked in the dark, noticed black figure, illuminated. The illumination created the startle effect. The startled effect startled the snake. The startled snake ran away. All right, so it wasn't exactly cool as a story to tell necessarily, and it had a little bit of a tragic ending still, even though it needed to be done, right? Like that's not okay. You can't be living in our house, Mr. or Mrs. One Bite Death. I'm sorry, like that's just not going to check out. My friends want to know about how you almost died yesterday. Yo. Jovan, she was bubbly and silly and kind and just the absolute best. She's so gracious. She fought cancer and still wished so hard to endure her exit, to ensure her exit from this world didn't burden anyone. So selfless. Worked so hard, wished so hard, worked so hard to ensure her exit from this world doesn't burden anyone. Can you imagine that? Having to be strong for the other people while you are dying, right? Like the one chance that you technically have all of the cards to play to lose your shit, to still work hard to make sure that you aren't devastating your loved ones. I still feel a bell tower, maybe just the bells. I'll do this card. We needed to hear it again. Love is true. Kristen, I love that. Feel the sentiment, and I'll hold this one dearly. Love is true. I still can't believe y'all don't have window screens with black mambas just snaking around. Like, the thing is, Joy Vive, you can't keep everything out, right? Like, we have something called, like, viruses, too. And sure, you can walk around with a face mask ceaselessly in the hopes of stopping maybe a rogue virus particulate. But for the most part, we don't do that because it's not that great or comfortable doing so. On the other side, though, I am actually pro mesh windows just for the sake of keeping the mosquitoes out and allowing airflow. So it's just hasn't been done kind of vibe, Jovi. There's no real excuse or like rhyme or reason other than it's gonna cost money and we're not spending money on this thing kind of vibe. I casually walk past rattlesnakes and gators all the time, but black mambas would be pretty freaking scary to me. Yeah, exactly. Like I've walked past many a snake, but black mambas, unfortunately, especially when they're breeding. They'll come and kill you. Not like you'll step on it accidentally and then it'll bite you. It will acknowledge or identify that you are in its space, and then it will set out to end your existence. Like that's what those snakes do. Right? And you cannot exactly have one of those around the place that my mom frequently walks past. And my brother as well. Would like to start track tomorrow, Kristen. That sounds blessed. I hadn't thought about doing something, but that's a great idea. I think I want it. So much love. I'm gonna. Oh, that's where my. Remember I told you about that little sticky thing that I lost? There it is. Bruh. The way the sticky works. I'll put it back where it was, but I highly doubt it'll stay there. I mean, it literally didn't stay there, so I can trust that it won't, instead of highly doubting anything. Maybe you can make a nourishing meal. One of her recipes. That's really good idea. Literally eating her food would be such an experience, right? To honor her and to remember her as well. I am literally always trekking, just non-stop watching Star Trek on repeat. Have you watched the new animated one? I think it's called Prodigy, Star Trek Prodigy or something. They've been trying to get me to watch it, but I haven't bit the bullet. Man, those colors. They don't look nearly as nice for me as they look for you, friends. Let me see if these are better. Yeah. We haven't had this seed in a while. Little burbies building their nests. There's 18 friends here right now? Bless you! I didn't even notice how many friends we had. I usually like taking these moments to just let you know that you are so important, dear friend. That you make a difference in this world, and that I appreciate you. I'm gonna go and sit right here. And you're like, Mel, isn't the bottom of your cushion gonna get wet when you put it on the grass? And I'm gonna go, yeah, it will. But it will dry out as well, at the very least. Okay. Kalimba time. I think you can see that Burby doing gymnastics, right? Like jumping up and hanging upside down, jumps, hangs upside down, makes a bunch of sounds, flutters wings, and then drops and catches itself again. I wonder if it's like some sort of mating dance. It was nice to watch while I was feeling by. Could have been more wet. Hi! Hi, Bobby! Hi! Bippy just gently watching me as well. You're loved and appreciated, brother. Thank you for these moments. They held more than you know. Thank you, Brother Bear, for joining me for these moments, man. You helped me more than you know. Right? We help one another. And if we can continue to do so, all of us will be more helped instead of less so. Right? It's no brainer. So easy. So quick math. We also scheduled something for later in the evening after you've had work today, Kristen. Bless. Thank you. Thank you, Sam. Can I just honor Sam, uplift Sam a little bit for taking such an active role? Bless you. Much love, Big Mush. Joe Pojo. Grateful for the opportunity given to us to connect here. I don't know if anybody else is writing a final message, but I will, freestyle one if it is to be required. Nay, no freestyle requiring from me. We have a Jovan Shan message that has been mindfully, lovestakingly made. Be nice. It's my busy season, so evening, late afternoon is better for me right now. Bless you. Thank you for letting Sam know, dear friends. All right, you ready for our final message? It goes, have the most fulfilling day, everyone. You're for realsers and truthsy, so very super duperly and treasured. Merry making Meltmore and all of you. Oh, so very pleasantly, palatably, tastefully satiate. I see what's happening right now. We're doing all of the word fractals. This is making me happy. When all of you, oh so very pleasingly, palatably, tastefully, satiatingly, savoringly, gratifyingly, enticingly, enrichingly, hearteningly, fruitfully, abundantly, authentically, wholesome, humanimal critter creatures exploring what nourishes your mind, body, and spirit. Like, honestly, I think it's gonna take the AI like 50 years before it gets on Jovan's level. That's amazing. Thank you, Joe. Like the amount of awareness, right? The nourishment topic, the food comments, the uh, love is true. Thank you. Thank you, dear friends, for joining me, for having these moments. I'll see you again soon. Tomorrow. I look forward to it already. Sending you all blessings. Goodbye. Go and nourish yourself as well. And until we see one another again.